understand it as a wake-up call for those who believe the Bible. The Bible tells us that these are all doings of God. These are all God's actions. Why are there natural disasters that affect humanity as a whole? It is insinuated by man's transgression, man's sin. The first natural disaster happened during the time of Noah, when the fountains of the great deep were broken. You will remember in Genesis 1 and 2, the earth is a globe of waters. It is made up of waters. And God caused the dry land to appear from the waters. And the dry land He called earth, and the gathering together of the waters He called seas. Deep inside, there is a fountain of water, the fountain of the great deep, as the Bible calls it. It is known to science as the aqueous layer of the earth. What is that aqueous layer of the earth? It is a layer of the earth that serves as the foundation of the surface of the earth. Deep inside is water, and it is protected by rocks, layers of rocks. It serves as the foundation. Why like that? Because if we know a little of science, we know that water and liquid is incompressible. It is the best foundation that we can make. Water is the best foundation when it is contained in a solid container. Water is incompressible. That is the principle of hydraulic jacks. Hydraulic jacks are very strong because the force inside is the force of water that cannot be compressed. If the water is contained in a container that is sealed, the water makes up a very good foundation. That is the structure of the earth. That is what we call the aqueous layer of the earth, wherein all the waters deep down below are protected by rocks. It was broken during the time of Noah, which now results in the broken tectonic plates of the earth that scientists call. Now, this happened first time in history, according to the Bible, when the fountains of the great deep were broken up because of the transgression of people during the time of Noah. And the rest is history. There are now earthquakes, there are now etc., etc. How do we understand the natural disasters that have taken place in many places of the earth? I understand it as a wake-up call for those who believe the Bible. The Bible tells us that these are all doings of God. These are all God's action. Let us read in the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 5, Brother Daniel.
Which removeth the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble.
It is God that shaketh the earth out of her place because of His anger, according to Job chapter 9, verse 5. So earthquakes are manifestations of God's wrath and anger. It is the biblical explanation. It is manifestation of God's anger. And why is God angered? What causes God's wrath? It is the sin and transgressions of man. Maybe it's a wake-up call to all other countries that are experiencing such magnitude of natural disasters. So to your question, my answer is that, how do you understand scripturally the recent natural disasters? It is a manifestation of God's anger and wrath that signifies the fulfillment of biblical prophecies uttered by the Lord Jesus Christ in the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 to 8.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
All these are the beginning of sorrow. It is a long way to go till the end. It's only the beginning of sorrows. Whatever is happening now is predicted by the Lord Jesus Christ as the beginning of sorrows. There shall be famines, earthquakes, pestilences, and wars in diverse places. This is explained by the Bible very clearly 2,000 years before it happens. We are now living in the time predicted by the Bible as the time of the end. We are nearing the end. And all these things must come to pass, but it is not yet the end, but it is the beginning of sorrows, according to the Lord Jesus Christ. That is our biblical analogy of what is happening now about those recent natural disasters.